Okay, so welcome back to my new video on number parsing or parsing a float or parsing an integer or parsing a string of integer to an integer and then an integer to a string. So I'm going to show you how Go has a built-in package called string convert or string conv, provides this number parsing. It's a straightforward function that you can use. It's very simple and straightforward. So let's jump right into the IDE. I'm already in the IDE. I'm going to create a new folder called STR. Okay, let me just call it number parsing, okay? And within this number parsing directory, I'm going to create our usual main file. I'm going to import STRCONV. That is the import, okay? So I'm going to start with strconv.parse float. So as you can see, parse float takes a string, a bit size, and then a bit size. Okay, so we call it bit. So it's going to take a string, and that string we are going to call it, let's say 50.99, and then the bit size is going to be, let's say 32 or 64. Okay, so let's go with 64, and this parse float returns a value and then an error. Okay, so let's catch the results and then the error. Okay, so we want to do something with the error. So if error is not equal to nil, we want to panic and then return the error. Else we want to print results. Okay, so let's run this. We want to print the results and then also want to print. Okay, so let me do this. Percentage, the type, and then the percentage F. Okay, so I'm going to print the results and then the results. Okay, so let's try this and see if it's going to work. Okay, let's rather print F. Then print F. Print F is to format it. So I think this should work. So as you can see, the type is what? A float. And then this is the actual value, 50.99. So we've been able to convert this string to a float. So let's do the same for an integer. So we can say res error. We can pass an integer. An integer takes a base and then a string base and then the bit size. So let's say the integer that we want to pass is 999, and then the base is 0, and then let's say the bit size is 32. Instead of 64, we want to make it 62. So now we can print if error is not equal to nil, we want to panic. Else, we want to print F. So we want to check the type as well as the rest and rest. Okay, so I'm going to print this. So you see, the type is 64, and then the integer is an integer of type 64, and then the result is 999. So I'm not sure why it printed instead of integer 32. So let me see. 64. I'm not too sure why. So let me see the base. If the base is 10, let me see what it's going to print. Okay, it's still printing 64. Yeah, so never mind. Let's leave it that, but you get the idea. You get the idea. We're converting this thing to an integer, and then we're converting this 50.99 also to a float. All right. So there's one more function that I want to talk about. There's one called atwa, and I think it's itwa. Okay, so let's check them out. We have strconv.itwa. Itwa, you see, it takes an integer and then converts and returns a string. So this is supposed to be itwa. Itwa. It takes an integer and returns a string. So let's pass in our integer. So let's call it 95. And this also returns it returns a string. So let's just pass that in. Let me see. Let me check the type. %T. And percentage. And percentage S. Okay. So I'm going to repeat the same thing here, but you should get an idea. So this one is to check the type, and this one is to print the results. All right, so I'm going to run this. So you see, it's a string, and then that is the string value. Okay. Also, we want to use the atwa. So str atwa. So you see the itwa takes a string and returns an integer and an error. So let's do that. It gets a res, and then it takes a string. Let's call it 94. Then we can check the error. If it's not equal to nil, we want to panic and pass in the error. Else, we want to print res. Okay. I want to print the res, but let's check the type first. Percentage T and then percentage D. So we're going to return these two things. All right. So okay, so let me do new line. So you can see the type is an integer, and 94 is an integer, and 95 is a string. So let's come back here. The itwa returns, it converts this 95 to a string, and then the atwy returns this string to an integer. So this is how you convert a string to an integer and then an integer to a string. So these two methods are very, very important. Very important. This is also very important. So take note of these two, atwy and itwa. The names are very difficult, but I think you will get familiar with them. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and then I'll see you in the next one.